Yeah, so we have 2 weeks of trials, and tonight's our second night. We had a really good first hit out last night. Local players on board, really trying to get back in the swing of things. So for us, it's not too technical right now. It's really seeing who's putting their hand up, testing some things out on court. And last night was a really good start for us.
Out of this, what's your magic number you'd like to take?
Yeah, so we'll have trials for the next 2 weeks, so 4 sessions overall, and from there we'll look at selecting a squad. So whether that squad's 12, whether it's 15, really depends on numbers, because some of our recruits and imports won't come in until late March or April for the season. So what we really want to do is have that strong connection between players that have sort of finished through the junior system and now looking to make their mark in NBL 1.
How vital is it? I mean, it's good to see a lot of locals here tonight, obviously trying out, and how important is that for the program going forward?
Yeah, we're a Hobart-based club, and the ideal would be to see as many Hobart-based or Tasmanian athletes running out on a Friday night for an NBL 1 game as possible. But what we also need to do is really develop our environment here. So practice is good quality, it's competitive for spots. So I'm really happy with how it's going so far. It's early days, but I'm really happy with the level of interest that we've had.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a good turnout here, Mark, and the emphasis on women's basketball. We obviously want to push that emphasis of women's basketball to make it a very popular sport against the other codes, so to speak. So nice to see a good number here tonight. But you must be an advocate for, say, to push for women's basketball to go further here in Hobart.
Yeah, absolutely. The Hobart Chargers have such a strong future role and have had such a strong role in the past. So to be able to have an opportunity for local athletes here in Hobart to play in a national competition against players that have been in the WNBA or with the Australian Opals, the WNBL, it's just an amazing opportunity for our local athletes. And girls basketball and women's basketball here is really booming right now. We've got a really strong cohort coming through in the next few years, and we really want to make the Hobart Chargers a hot destination for all those players.
You coached back in 2014 and 2015 and took obviously the Chargers to a Women's South Conference title. Where's the difference have you seen from Seabull now to NBL 1? Where's the jump been over the last 4 to 5 year period?
Yeah, look, I think it sort of varies a little bit year to year depending on what the Opal cycle is around World Cup or Olympics, and 2020 is an Olympic year, so it'll be really interesting to see how many Opals put their hand up to play. I'd imagine a number of them will try and probably put games in where they can around camps and tours and selection process. So really for me, I think NBL 1's where players want to play. So whether that's the men's comp, whether that's the women's comp, the level of visibility, the competition is really going, I think, year on year, increase its strength.
Where are you at with obviously imports wise? I asked Stuart a similar question. Is 2 imports are you looking for within this squad?
Yeah, we'll be looking at 2 restricted players, whether that's 2 Americans or 1 American, 1 Australian. We're still working through that, having some really positive conversations at the moment. So I'd be expecting the next week we'll have some announcements there, which again will be really exciting for our program. So I've been really buoyed by the level of interest from players in our club. Coaches in the state have been referring players. It's been really exciting, and when we lock in a couple of those key pieces, I think it'll really show that we're back, we're serious, and we want to compete for a championship next year.
Does it feel like a fresh start in some ways?
Look, it really does feel like a fresh start, but putting the Chargers jacket back on, it's just like the Chargers never left. So I think we've been really fortunate to maintain a presence in NBL 1, and there's a lot of noise, a lot of excitement, whether it's local coffee shops, businesses. Everyone's really excited that the Chargers are back this year.
And what's your expectation going into 2020, Mark? Where would you like to aim? I know again, speaking with Stewie, he's aiming for that top 8. Are you guys looking similar?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to compete for a championship, and that's part of the conversations we're having with recruiting players in. Players are asking those questions. Are we going to be competitive and competing? And my response has been that every game we want to step out, whether it's the big clubs in Victoria, whoever it might be, we want to be competitive, but ultimately we want to put a team together that can compete for a championship, not just this year, but every year.